How do you feel good?
Listen close, they're calling you.
Everything we touched either went gold or platinum.
All your dreams now are rushing in.
I'm trying to get out of jail so that I could get to the next gig.
I was a pimp for 10 days. So now I'm supposed to beat her.
The group really close to breaking up.
The Whisper way is to take care of their family.
They are the embodiment of what a group should be.
Loyalty to us is like you start the way you want to finish. You don't kick a man when he's down.
Uncompromised, unrecognized, unparalleled, unsung. The story of the Whispers. They've been together 50 years.
They had the sound as though they had always been around.
That's 50 years of a group that's still together, still not missing a beat.
They have 33 top 40 hits.
It's really amazing to stay as consistent as they've stayed.
You say you love me, lady. Girl, I hope you do.
And they've proven that the sound of romance is best expressed in whispers.
If you made out with a girl, then that was the record to put on, and it was it. That's almost like foreplay just in itself by hearing the harmony.
The Whispers are precisely why there was a black population boom back in the 90s. I'm convinced of that.
It just gets better with time.
Indeed, the Whispers might be the greatest group nobody really knows.
Even today, people who have heard their music don't really know who they are.
Walking on clouds of the night.
They'll come out after the show and say, wow, we didn't know they were that good.
Seem like I gotta do wrong, gotta do wrong, gotta do wrong.
But for the Whispers themselves, talent was always the easy part. They've weathered criminal acts, substance addictions, tragic loss, and survived to tell the tale.
I know I sent them through hell. They have never had a blemish on their records until me.
With Marcus, it was alcohol, and from alcohol it went to drugs. That we were going to go down, that we were going to go down with all of us.
How else do you test loyalty unless you're coming through something? How else?
Wallace and Walter Scott, the sweet-voiced twins at the heart of the Whispers sound, were born in Fort Worth, Texas in 1943. Their father was a military man, their mom a housewife, and the twins' musicality was evident from the start.
My earliest memory of us is about 3-4 years old. My dad went out and bought Scotty a set of drums, and he bought me a saxophone. We were listening to Frank Sinatra. We were listening to groups like the Four Freshmen, the Hi-Lo's, and we would imitate every one of them.
But when the twins were 7, their parents split up.
It's 2152, 2153 is right there. Where?
And they moved with their mom into the rough-and-tumble Jordan Downs housing projects in South Central LA.
Right here, 2153 is where we live. And we were basically poor, but we didn't know we were poor because we were happy. That's where we slept, Scotty and I. Yeah, right there, the one in the middle. Yep. My mom came out here, walked down there, took the bus to the valley, worked on cleaning people's houses, came back, did the same thing the next day.
Through middle and high school, Walter and Scotty competed in local talent shows.
And we're like everybody else in that era. Now we're in the early 60s, and we wanted to be like Temptations, the Four Tops. Scotty was extremely shy. He could sing if you didn't look at him.
The Scott twins' fiercest rivals were another group from the projects, known as the Eden Trio. Marcus Hudson, Clarence Bradford, and Nicholas Caldwell Until one night,
while we're in the wings waiting to go on, we kind of start doo-wopping in the back. And we said, you know, we sound kind of good, but why don't we keep this together after the talent show is over?
Ironically, we both lost the talent show, but we won one another. And it was a beautiful thing.
Soon after that, the trio and the twins merged. Clarence Bradford was eventually replaced by Gordy Harmon, an older friend who helped arrange an audition with a Hollywood producer named Lou Bedell.
And he says, wait a minute. You guys sound like a whisper. That's what we'll call you, the Whispers. You could call us anything, just give us the contract.
The Whispers' first single, It Only Hurts for a Little While, was released on Do-Re Records in 1964. They continued to record, and 2 years later, their sound caught the ear of a hot DJ in San Francisco.
Sly Stone. Sly Stone was the man. So when he called us, he said, you guys have a hit on your hands up here. Please come and support it. We come up here, we're in awe. People everywhere to see the Whispers. Little old bitty us, oh my. We don't go back home. The Bay Area adopts us, we adopt them.
But just as the group was starting to feel some love, Walter Scott was drafted and sent to Vietnam.
They can't draft twins, they can only draft one of them.
Firstborn.
Yeah, that's the law. So that 2 minutes that I was born first ended up hurting me.
And then that's when I came into my own. I saw the loss, a little of my shyness, you know, because you at that point, you had to either do it or, you know, get out the way.
With Scotty stepping up, the Whispers became the go-to opening act for stars from Otis Redding to the OJs, and they developed a passionate local following.
It was Scotty, Marcus, Gordy, and Nick. And each one of them had their own personalities. Nick was more like the choreographer. He was the dancer. He was the performer. Gordy was the smooth one. He was the ladies' man. And then Marcus, he was a hard worker. You could tell that he worked the hardest out of everyone in the group. And Scotty was a singer of songs. And we said, wow.
We didn't have no hits, but we had an act. And we traveled all over the country with that act.
By the time Walter got out of the service and prepared to rejoin the group in the late 60s, he felt hopelessly outclassed.
I joined them because they liked the idea of having twin lead singers, but I couldn't keep up.
I did not think that we would find a place for my brother because he was so in awe that he was looking kind of crazy on stage. So I said, let me go talk to my mom about this. And she said, you better hope he do make it. Because if he don't make it, you out of there too.
As Walter regained his footing, the Whispers also picked up a pioneering promoter and manager named Dick Griffey.
This guy walks up to me who I thought was a professional football player. He said, I know who you are, and if I were given an opportunity to manage you, I could make your group the top group in this country.
Walter set up a meeting, and we all immediately liked him. He was really a go-getter, very smart, and he had a real good vision of what he wanted.
Another day has come and gone.
In 1970, the Whispers released their first charting single, a ballad about growing up the hard way called Seems Like I Gotta Do Wrong.
It's not because I didn't try.
Determined to showcase the group on TV, Dick Griffey turned to a Chicago-based dance program that was struggling through its first season on the air, Soul Train.
Seems like I gotta do wrong, gotta do wrong, gotta do wrong before they notice me.
We came into Chicago. Dick somehow got us in to do the show. He and Don meet. They become friends. Dick convinces Don Cornelius, you're a television producer, I'm a promoter. You put him on TV, I promote him.
For Dick Griffey, Don Cornelius, and the Whispers, it was just the beginning of a beautiful relationship.
I go to bed, but my sleep just won't come.
Seems Like I Gotta Do Wrong put the Whispers on the national map and made them hometown heroes in Oakland, where their shows drew a surprising group of fans.
Whenever you had a whisper show, you were going to see a line of pimps, and they always had the reserved tables, and they'd walk in with all their ladies on their arm, and everybody were just in awe.
And they would come dressed in minks, diamonds, and silks. You may have 300 Cadillacs full of 5 and 6 women deep.
That's where the pimps were, because they knew they were going to get a good show. They knew that the ladies probably were going to have a lot of activities after the show.
And for a while, the Whispers themselves were pulled into the game.
I was a pimp for 10 days. The lady gave me $1,400. I'll never forget this. $1,400. Now, the next week, I'm supposed to get $1,400 more dollars. She didn't have that. So now I'm supposed to beat her. I couldn't do that. My mom had told me, she said, son, there are 2 kinds of prostitution whores. One is the male and one is the female. Don't forget that. You can be the same thing.
Gordy Harmon, the Whispers' oldest member, took a longer walk on the wild side with serious consequences.
Fights, embarrassing moments, and it really began to become a cancer in the group.
He had a bad accident due to alcohol, went through the windshield of a car, messed his larynx up, and that pretty much ended his singing situation.
After auditioning singers around the country, the Whispers replaced Harmon with Lavelle Degree, a friend of Scotty's who had worked briefly with the singing group the Friends of Distinction.
The singing part, no problem. I aced that without any, because that was my forte. But then Nick said, well, let's see if he can do the routines. Looked like I had 2 left feet. And Nick, he said, Scotty, now he ain't the one. Scotty said, man, I think he is the one. He don't use drugs. He's clean cut. His chemistry is perfect for us.
So Nick took Lavelle under his wing, setting up a lineup that would hold for decades. Newcomer Lavelle Degree, Wallace and Walter Scott sharing the leads, Marcus Hudson anchoring the harmonies, and choreographer and songwriter Nicholas Caldwell. Despite Lavelle's rookie status, the Whispers gave him a full cut of everything. Not that there was all that much to share.
We were doing a chillin' circuit. We call it the chillin' circuit. Driving around in station wagons, pulling the trailer behind us. Sometimes we couldn't even shut the car off. We just had to let it run all night long, because if it quit, it wouldn't start up again.
Many occasions, the band would get paid and the group itself would get no money.
Instead, the Whispers sometimes got nothing but trouble. One night in Nashville, after Marcus Hudson was spotted with a white woman on his arm, the police came knocking.
Boom, boom, boom. The whole doorway, all of it, was full of shotguns. You couldn't see the people for the shotguns. Dick Griffey is outraged. He says, I have enough money to buy all y'all. The chief said, if you say another word, I'm gonna blow your MF brains out. You get out of here.
Yes, and the Dick Griffey connection. That pretty much ensured that any time the Whispers needed to go on national television to promote a new record, that they were going on to Soul Train.
Things looked even more promising when Griffey and Cornelius decided to form their own label, Soul Train Records, and signed the Whispers. And 2 records later, Don Cornelius decided to go his own way.
He came to the conclusion that what Dick was doing as a promoter and trying to have a record label clashed with what he wanted to do as a television producer.
So Griffey promptly started his own label, Solar, and brought the Whispers with him, becoming not only their promoter and their manager, but their label boss and even their producer.
We'd be in the studio 3 or 4 in the morning. Dick was right there with us. This was the president of the label, and he'd listen to it. We'd listen to it. It was just a great atmosphere.
True to their roots, the musical results were streetwise as well. The Whispers' Solar album debut, Headlights, featured a cautionary ballad about the pimping life, titled Olivia.
Songwriter Wayne Bell had a niece. Her name was Olivia, and she was turned out by a pimp, went on the street for him. And he wrote this song in an attempt to get her off the streets.
There was nothing on the radio like Olivia, talking about somebody being turned out.
For us, this was a great message. If it just helped one person, we wanted that to be relayed.
But for certain old school Whispers fans, Olivia struck a little too,
because the lyrics of that song tells the story about how they turn out the young ladies. And the last line is, stop using your body and use your brain. That's the part they didn't like.
Whispers, things were about to get a whole 15 years. None of their 8 albums had cracked the R&B top 20. And as the group returned to the studio to record album number 9, they worried that it just might be their last.
For 15 years, we went in what they call that chilling circuit, starvation mode, no major hits at all.
We all unanimously got together and said, it doesn't happen this time. Enough is enough. We're done.
Looking for magic, Dick Griffey connected the Whispers with in-house producer Leon Silvers, a rising star who had scored hits with Lakeside and Shalimar. And Silvers had just the potion they were looking for.
Allie in the back of the studio saying, Scotty, please, man, please, you got to finish the song. This is going to be
It could be up-tempo and but it still be something sexy about it. They were kind of an older group at that point, but no one cared. Their music just touched you, and their voices touched you.
We said, if this don't do it, it's time to go get jobs. And 4 weeks later, we had our first gold album. We're performing in Shreveport, Louisiana. We're on stage. Out walks Dick Griffey with 5 gold framed albums. And we're stunned. We couldn't believe it. We said, this is really gold.
It was almost like being confirmed, musically confirmed. And it gave you a sense of wonder and deep appreciation. Because you could look back and see all those years were not in vain.
The Whispers could also look around and see rewards that were more tangible and intoxicating.
You're at the good life now. All your dreams now are rushing in.
You are a baby in a candy store. The money changes so freaking quick, literally overnight, and women are throwing themselves at you.
As beautiful that is, I want to caution, make sure that you don't get so focused on your career that you forget about family.
We didn't have a husband and a father. He was committed to the Whispers. I was a little jealous of them because they seemed to have all of the attributes from a husband they were getting and I didn't get them.
And when it came to the music, there was no stopping the Whispers. With And the Beat Goes On leading the way, their self-titled LP sold nearly 2 million copies, shooting to the top of the R&B charts. And the album caught a second win from a single that paid tribute to a fallen friend.
People speak your name and think what a shame.
We were playing at Radio City Music Hall in New York, and Donny Hathaway was in town, and we were trying to get off early to go.
It's so special and so cold. It's really kind of hard to put into words.
We loved him. And we wanted to pay tribute to him because he was one of the greatest vocalists that ever lived. You're talking about emotion and life lived. It all was in his voice. I mean, we would sit there and, right now I get chills.
Said I love you, Donny.
That was our way of saying how much we respected and loved Donny Hathaway.
The Whispers had shown love for a legend. Soon that love would be tested by one of their own.
I'm trying to get out of jail so that I could get to the next gig.
Everything that a person could call upon to be forgiving in this situation was called upon.
Girl, I hope you do.
After nearly 2 decades of paying their dues, the Whispers were finally making some noise. A third single from their double platinum album helped put them on top, while revealing the Silky Soulsters' romantic side. Lady was another top 5 hit, and it looked like the Whispers could finally bask in their hard-won success. Then in 1980, Lavelle Degree was busted for participating in a jewelry heist.
Lavelle degree, let me say it right now, didn't actually steal any of the jewelry. I actually got arrested for receiving stolen merchandise.
$300,000 worth of stolen merchandise. Furs and jewelry, to be exact.
A relative of mine offered me some of the stuff, which was a couple of furs and some diamonds and some jewels. So, of course, I was like, yeah, sure, I'll take it. When you wind up having so much success, you almost find yourself feeling like you're invincible.
You got two emotions flowing. You know, you're sorry for him, but you're mad at him at the same time. We are at a situation where we now can begin to live out the dream we all had when we started out in this success.
Now, I'm locked up. I went to Boron Federal Prison Camp. I had to do 3.5 months.
Trouble is when friendship is really tested. Any other time, it's a formality. We all get along with who we get along with. But what happens when somebody you profess to love is now in trouble? What do you do with that?
Throughout that whole time, every time they worked, I got a paycheck to support my family. Who does that?
And that's a beautiful, beautiful thing. The loyalty that they showed to Lavelle, you can't put a price on.
From that point on, all I've done is try to show them that I'm not that same individual, and I'm definitely deeply sorry for what I sent them through.
The Whispers' loyalty was richly rewarded. With their chemistry intact, the group kicked off a steady stream of top 10 hits.
For the next 5, really 6 years, everything we touched either went gold or platinum.
Then in 1987, the Whispers hit the jackpot.
And this young guy walked up to us and said, "My name is Kenny Edmonds. I admire you guys. I'd like to write for you." And he played us a song. He said, "You can write for us all day long." Kenny Edmonds later became Babyface, you know, one of the greatest producers of our time. L.A. Reid. Back then, he was Antonio Reid.
They were the first celebrity acts that trusted me and LA could do it. And so because of that, it gave me confidence, and that's when the whole thing started with Rocksteady.
They walked in that door. "Okay, we'll be back tomorrow with a song for you." I'm like, "Be back tomorrow?"
When they came back the next day, they had Rocksteady. We were sing-along, as they call, which is the hook in Rocksteady. Rocksteady. He wanted that to be done like a party. So he brought some friends of his, and he said, "Just sing it like it's a party. Don't sing it correct." And we had a ball.
You know, that sophisticated funk that people could get into and dance.
Rocksteady made the old school Whispers relevant on the dance floor again. Their album was another platinum. The Whispers, it seemed, could do no wrong. But change and heartbreak were just around the bend.
From alcohol that went to drugs. Once the drugs set in, you know, we did get better with time.
The mighty, mighty Whispers.
But despite, or perhaps because of their success, the group began to wonder if they were on the right path to keep them on top.
Thank you to RCA Records, Solar Records, Mr. Dick Griffey, our president of our company.
Dick Griffey was still their manager, and when it came time to negotiate a new contract, that was the problem.
You're conflicted. Here you have a guy who's your manager, and he's also the record company president. So how can the manager negotiate against himself?
Unlike before, we knew about royalties. We knew about publishing. And Dick knew that we had become knowledgeable, and he taught us how to be knowledgeable.
They made a decision to move to another label that offered different kinds of support and a chance for them to grow. You fight all your life to get to an opportunity. You have to wait and take it.
It was a bidding war. We could have gone to MCA. We met with Clive Davis, offered us a lot of money, and we signed with Capitol Records.
Funny part about it is that Dick Griffey, he's like, "Okay, you just did what I taught you. It was business." Until the day he died, we were still friends.
But life at a major label came with a price. Capitol wanted the Whispers to deliver a smash, and leaned on the group to update their sound. So their next single, Innocent, came with a slick video and a new jack swing. Innocent made it to number 3 on the R&B charts, but never crossed over to pop. And the Whispers were struggling on another front. Marcus Hudson, a member of the group since high school, had to take a leave of absence to deal with addictions, which were spinning out of control.
He was an original member of the Whispers and one of the greatest, sweetest men that you'll ever want to meet. But the bigger we got, the worse it got for him.
We had an intervention. We talked to him, we told him, hey, Marcus, we're here for you, whatever you need. So he decided, okay, I'm going to go take care of this. Every month he had a check coming to him to make sure that he could take care of himself.
With Hudson gone, the Whispers soldiered through their touring and recording schedule as a quartet. One concert in June of 1995 delivered another emotional punch. Hours before sharing a stage at the Apollo with their friend Phyllis Hyman, came word that she had taken her life.
She used to say that all the time. I'm out of here. Well, she finally went and did it. But regardless to all of that, she too, was one of the greatest that ever did it.
The obvious move that night was to cancel the show. But a young comedian on the bill revived the Whispers and the crowd.
I said, hey, listen, guys, I believe in my heart Miss Hyman would say, hey, baby, kick it, do it. Y'all have a great time.
Her doing what she did made us say, the show must go on. We got to pay homage to this woman, which we did in our show.
My life equals she kiss me, drive me crazy.
To watch these entertainers go on that stage and take such control and command of a group of people that were grieving and could make them feel amazing when they walk out the door, it was something to see.
After a 5-year lull, the Whispers released a second album on Capitol in 1995. It went top 10, but failed to go gold. Both the group and the label had expected more.
Was it the music? Was it the label? Promotion? Marketing? Maybe a combination of all of it.
So after 2 albums and a handful of singles, Capitol cut the Whispers from its roster. Just like that, their career was in jeopardy. And soon, 2 members would be fighting for their lives.
The doctor comes and he says, if your husband had done just one more show, he would have died on stage.
By the time we found out how real sick he really was, it was too late.
I feel that time in my heart, you get wrong with me.
2013 marks the 50th anniversary of the Whispers.
Every time that you need, it comes so easy.
10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50 years. That's amazing, man. It's really amazing. They weren't changing. They didn't become, the menudo of R&B.
You know who kept us here? Mostly black people. We got nominated for a Grammy, didn't get it. We got nominated for a Soul Train Award, didn't get it. But the black community said, don't matter. Don't matter.
But longevity has taken a toll. After Marcus Hudson returned from a drug-related leave of absence in 1998, he was diagnosed with prostate cancer.
We took him to Mexico and to see if we could wind up getting some experimental drugs that would help him, but it had basically spread through his body.
He wasn't able to tour with the group, but they still paid him, and that was a beautiful, beautiful thing.
We started with Marcus, and we wanted to end with him. He's entitled to whatever I'm entitled to. That's just our attitude.
Marcus Hudson died of cancer in 2000. Then in 2007, the Whispers nearly lost Lavelle Degree, who underwent emergency heart surgery.
The surgeon is saying to us, your husband will never, ever, ever be able to perform. So now he's bench pressing, what, 375?
No, 325.
325?
And it chokes me up to say this really, because it's really true. But this woman right here saved my life. It's her care for me and her love for me that brought me back from the brink of death.
Nicholas Caldwell has a different kind of survival story.
Ain't a man alive could be more loved by their children than I am. But I know where my greatest failure was, I wasn't there to see them through.
The candy store of fame had lured Nicholas away from his wife and family.
I was an adulterer. I'm saying it because it's true. I prayed to help somebody. I was an adulterer. I left my wife. I was fornicating all over the place, doing everything possible to do was wrong.
But 13 years after their divorce, love, loyalty, and a heartfelt reading of the Bible brought him back.
When he began to call, I could hear a difference. I could hear a man that was not self-absorbed.
We got married. That is the best thing that has ever happened to me in my entire life. When I look at this woman, I understand how God looks at her.
As for Walter and Scotty, they've seen their careers and their lives come full circle.
People have come up and said it to me. Man, you guys never got your just due. Sometimes that could get under your skin, but my attitude is we did it despite that.
When you get 4 men that says, hook or crook, we're in this till the end. We are in this until we say, we're done. What do you say to that but wow?
We are strong as the weakest link, and we will literally die out of here one at a time where there won't be any more whispers.
Out here we make this living doing what we love still. It's wonderful.
We feel like we fooled them because we would have paid them. They didn't have to pay us. I just never thought that we would be doing this long, this good. You know, we're very blessed.